All right, bros. All right. Well, we're going there, I guess. There we go. Yeah, we're going. We got our camera fixed, and I just didn't want to reset it at the moment. I love the letterhead there. Damn, they're digging the ground. They can't get out. That's a fact, bro. I mean, I believe this guy here. We're gonna start with this guy here. He's a judge. I think he's in Texas. Fisher, I think's his name. He's a really good judge. I mean,
What is happening at Al?
really, really good judge. He seems to really care about people.
Write a better report. Too bad. That sucks. Then write a better report. Too bad, so sad.
Statement, I smell marijuana, you look intoxicated, because it looks like he walked away and the cops didn't want him to walk away. And so now they need a reason to arrest him.
Man, perhaps, but he's in custody. He's in jail just sitting there. You know, I'm with you. Okay, be careful when you're out there. It's hard enough as it is. Don't give anyone else the power to even bring more, trouble on your life, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Good luck.
Here are unforgettable moments when Judge saved people from evil cops. Michael Jones was standing outside a residence when officers arrived in response to a disturbance call, but as soon as they got there, he began walking away. Under Texas Penal Code Section 42.01, speech alone, even if loud or aggressive, does not constitute disorderly conduct unless it provokes an immediate breach of peace. The officers, however, commanded Jones to stop and put his hands behind his back without giving a lawful reason. When he hesitated, they accused him of resisting and used force to detain him. This was a clear violation of his rights, as walking away is not a crime. The officers were attempting to manufacture probable cause after failing to find a legitimate reason to detain him.
Good morning.
Hey.
How are you?
Hey, buddy.
If you're banging on the door, you got to be careful, because you break something, you're gonna catch another charge. So be careful banging on those windows, because they break very easily. All right. So you were Michael Jones. Mr. Jones, we're talking about you, so that's why I wanted to bring you out. It's only fair that you get to hear what's going on with your case. Your lawyer wants to challenge probable cause in this case. You're charged with interference with the duties of a public servant. You are facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. That's what you're charged with. I don't know. So I'm gonna have them read, and we're gonna do probable cause to see whether we're gonna go forward or not, okay?
Stuff with me right back there. She's gonna read it again, okay?
Okay, what happened?
On January 10, 2025, the officers in official uniforms and riding in a marked patrol vehicle were dispatched to a disturbance at a residence in Harris County, Texas. The officer observed the defendant standing outside the location, being told to leave by the resident, to which the defendant refused by verbally yelling at the resident in a loud, aggressive tone of voice. The officer announced themselves and observed the defendant begin to walk away. The officer gave the defendant a verbal command to put his hands behind his back, and the defendant pulled his hand away. The defendant refused to comply with verbal commands, and the defendant held his arms to his chest as the officer attempted to detain him. The defendant continued to refuse additional commands to stop resisting and put hands behind his back. He yelled at the officer in an aggressive tone and shouted out loud, "Don't let them take me." The officer performed a leg sweep and continued to struggle at from the defendant due to him pulling away. The officer began to roll around while on the ground and reached the officer's hands to prevent him from being placed in handcuffs. The officer continued to give commands, and the defendant continued to refuse.
I get it, but what's he doing? I mean, he's walking away. That's what they wanted.
No?
Just using.
So, Your Honor, in this case, to read the full dim, it was a disturbance call, and they said they observed him standing outside the above location, being told to leave, and they observed him verbally refuse, and then...
But then cops get up there.
And then they observed him begin to walk away, and it says they approached Jones and observed he was intoxicated in a public place based on his slurred speech, pupil size, and...
Didn't say that.
That was in the complete dims, Your Honor. And then
Did you know about that?
Yes, Judge, but I have my argument prepared. Judge, my argument is exactly what you started to say. There's some sort of disturbance, somebody's asking him to leave, they're yelling and screaming at each other. Police coming up and saying, hey, I'm the police, you can walk away from that all day long. My client did walk away from that. My client's loud and emotional, as you can tell here today. You're allowed to walk away emotional, yelling, screaming, even using profanity in this state if you want to. Then the cops come up to him and suddenly there's some kind of unfounded allegation of intoxication. There's absolutely no facts other than that statement. I smell marijuana. You look intoxicated. Because it looks like he walked away and the cops didn't want him to walk away. And so now they need a reason to arrest him. My argument is based on if he's charged with interference with a public servant, that doesn't come until later. He has to be lawfully arrested and lawfully detained or lawfully with the police before that even occurs. Walking away when a resident tells you to leave and all you've got in your sworn statement is, we identified ourselves as police, so what? Everything that happens after that is fruit of the poisonous tree.
During the hearing, the defense attorney pointed out that Jones had no legal obligation to comply when he was not being lawfully detained. According to Terry vs. Ohio, 392 U.S. 1, 1968, a police officer must have reasonable suspicion that a crime is occurring to justify a detention. The officers had no basis to stop Jones beyond an assumption of intoxication, which was unsupported by concrete evidence. The judge recognized that the situation escalated only because the officers refused to let Jones leave. If they had no valid reason to investigate him further, any subsequent resistance was irrelevant. This made the entire arrest unlawful, and the judge knew it.
So they go up and they see that he possibly could be intoxicated. So does it go into a potential public intox investigation?
If it does, they need to announce that. You can't just walk up to me and say, I'm the police, stop. We don't live in that kind of society. I'm the police, I need to investigate you, so therefore stop all day long. I'm the police, we're investigating, I need you to step aside, sir, so I can investigate this matter all day long. But hey, I'm the popo.
So the reasonable suspicion we have is they begin to investigate what? A criminal trespass.
They're calling it a disturbance, and they saw him yelling, being aggressive, and then as he walked away, that's when they saw.
How you doing? I'm coming to you with a hot, juicy, sensual message on behalf of Rose Sparks. Rose Sparks is a prescription treatment that could be the answer. I've heard from a friend of a friend who's struggling to get hard. Ro works in 15 minutes for an erection your partner will never forget. Picture yourself poolside. Rose Sparks are individually packaged for discreet on-the-go use. Traditional pills take up to 60 minutes to work. Rose Sparks dissolves under your tongue to work fast. And with Rose Sparks, it can last up to 36 hours. You'll be ready when the mood is right. Connect with the provider today. Find out if Rose Sparks is right for you. If prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off Sparks. That is ro.co/Drewski. It works, and it works pretty fast.
Taxes was paying the price every single year. Now taxes is terrible.
So the trespass investigation ceases because he's leaving. Yes or no?
It's not specified to be a trespass, Your Honor. It's specified just to be a disturbance.
That's what it is. Okay, but it's a trespass that they're investigating a trespass, right? I mean, for all intents and purposes, isn't that what it is? The investigation begins as a trespass investigation because he's there. Homeowners asked him to leave. He's refused to leave, so cops come and he begins to leave. So at that point, all should have ceased. But the cops go up to try to. Yes.
Well, in this case, Your Honor, it would be that, yes, he attempted to leave, but once the officers arrived, so they would still need to investigate to determine if the trespass even occurred to determine,
He's leaving.
He's walking.
He's leaving, right? It's like, here, let me come and mess with you more.
That would only.
Right? So it's like adding fuel to a fire.
But they still have grounds to investigate, and furthermore, with the further signs of possible public intoxication, it would give them further grounds to investigate.
That's because they're going up to him to mess with him.
Well, they're going up to investigate what they saw him refusing to leave, and he
leaves.
He only left once they arrived. So with maybe potential fear of apprehension, that's when he decided to leave, which it wouldn't be, it wouldn't undercut their ability to investigate what had they observed happen in front of them regarding that public or that disturbance that they were called about. They still need to figure out what happened there and if there was a trespass to begin with.
Judge, you can't flee a trespass. The way you comply is by fleeing.
Well, we don't know what the trespass is. We don't always specify the disturbance.
I'm gonna find those probable cause. Mr. Jones, be careful, man. We have enough drama in this life, don't we? You don't like to wear orange, do you? Be careful where you go. Be careful what you do. Everyone's always out to get you, man. Don't let them. All right, man. Good luck.
Unless you act like that.
Thank you. What happened?
After hearing both sides, the judge ruled that there was no probable cause and ordered Jones to be released. Under the exclusionary rule established in Mapp versus Ohio 367 U.S. 643 1961, evidence obtained through unlawful means must be suppressed. The officers had no legal standing to arrest Jones for interference when they lacked lawful authority to detain him in the first place. The judge even warned Jones to be careful in the future, acknowledging that bad policing can make innocent people targets. This decision protected Jones from wrongful imprisonment and sent a message against abusive police tactics. Just like this incident, here's a moment when a judge saved a man from corrupt policing.
We need to have like a workshop on how to write ORs, man. For real. Everything in this office report is conclusory, suspicious, aloysius,
A Texas man, Keon Shaw, found himself in court facing charges of fleeing a police officer, carrying a potential 6-month jail sentence and a $2,000 fine. The arrest stemmed from an officer's claim that Shaw was driving at an unsafe speed above a 35-mile-per-hour limit. However, under Texas Transportation Code, Section 5, 45.351, an unsafe speed must be determined based on specific conditions like weather, traffic, and visibility, not just a vague assertion by an officer. The police report failed to specify Shaw's actual speed, making the claim conclusory and legally weak.
Shaw. Mr. Shaw, you're charged with fleeing a police officer. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present if you cannot afford one. One will be appointed to you, sir.
On October 27, 2024, officer was conducting a routine patrol on Eldridge Parkway when he noticed the defendant's motor vehicle traveling at an unsafe speed, exceeding the posted 35-mile-per-hour zone. The vehicle then began driving in a suspicious manner by making a sudden left turn on the street and immediately parking on the left side of the road. When the vehicle noticed the officer's fully marked patrol vehicle passing, it immediately conducted a U-turn and got back on the main road. When the officer continued to follow the defendant's vehicle, the vehicle again conducted a left turn and pulled into an alleyway. When the officer initiated his emergency equipment in an attempt to conduct a traffic stop, the defendant's motor vehicle passed multiple safe stopping points before finally coming to a stop after traveling 0.5 miles through a dark and empty parking lot.
What was he doing wrong?
With the officer, he was originally traveling at an unsafe speed exceeding the speed limit, 35 miles. He was exceeding that speed limit.
By how much?
Let me see the DMs if he specified. Your Honor, he did not specify. It was just an unsafe speed exceeding the limit. And then
nothing's unsafe to me.
And then he began driving, according to the officer, in a suspicious manner, making sudden turns and then stopping on the side of the road, and then getting back on the road once the officer passed. So,
anything illegal with that?
During the hearing, the judge quickly recognized the report's flaws. The officer's account lacked crucial details, like how much Shaw exceeded the speed limit. Under Texas Transportation Code, Section 5, 43.006, a traffic citation must specify the offense clearly, ensuring a driver understands what they are accused of. Yet, the officer's report merely labeled Shaw's actions as suspicious without legal backing. This raised concerns about racial profiling rather than legitimate law enforcement. The judge saw through the weak probable cause and refused to allow vague accusations to justify the arrest.
So anything illegal with that? You know?
I believe it would just be the speed limit would be the point at which the officer.
It's a conclusory statement. We need to have like a workshop on how to write ORs, man, for real. You know, everything in this office report is conclusory, suspicious, aloysius. You know, is he driving while black?
This one easy trick will save you thousands when buying a used car. Did you know that some dealerships will clear the check engine codes off their cars? And then you'll end up buying that car without realizing you're about to get hit with thousands in repair fees. Carfax can tell you the basic history of a car, but it can't tell you the working condition of a car. I spent the last 10 years as a master mechanic at different dealerships. I'm going to show you how to tell if the car you're buying is actually a good one. I have seen and tested every car gadget known to man. But recently I saw a TikTok video claiming that this device will scan your car for issues, tell you what those issues are, and then also tell you if you should purchase that car. We're at the dealership right now. Let's see if this thing actually works. So this thing plugs directly into the diagnostics port. Every car after 1995 has one. Open the app, click tap to scan. So Fix is scanning the car right now for issues. Let's see what it comes up with. Fix says that I need a new catalytic converter. And as you can see, there's no light on the dashboard that says that there's any problem. Because if you look in the app, the seller cleared the check engine light. If you bought this car, you would end up spending $2,400 at your local mechanic just to fix this issue. And if you only listen to the Carfax, you would feel like such an idiot because the check engine light would turn on 50 miles down the road. This happens all the time, but it doesn't have to happen to you. Here's what I'm talking about. Not only can Fix give you the complete vehicle history, but it can also scan any vehicle on the spot, telling you instantly if there are any issues. It also accurately tells you how much those issues will cost to fix, and the maximum that you should pay for that vehicle. It gives you so much negotiating power that you're gonna pay way less than you would have otherwise. Fixed instantly tells you if the car has any accidents, structure damage, or multiple owners. You can continue to use Fix to diagnose issues even after you buy the car, saving you thousands on maintenance and repair costs. Fix lists out each service and how much each service will cost you. That way you aren't blindsided by expensive maintenance costs after you purchase the car. This thing even reminds you when it's time to change your oil, tires, battery, and windshield wipers. And if you want to clear the light after you fix something, you no longer have to spend $150 at the dealership for them to clear the light for you. Now, with this, all you have to do is click a button in the app, clear the light, and you're done. Car dealerships and sellers are always trying to maximize profit. The truth is, it's easier than ever for sellers and dealerships to clear the check engine light. A lot of people are doing this, and they're getting away with it. But with this, you'll see it coming, you'll know what is wrong, and you'll know exactly how much to pay for that used car, so you know that you are getting the best deal. And since it gives you cost estimates for maintenance and repairs, you don't have to worry about being overcharged by your mechanic. To be honest, I actually didn't think that this thing was going to work as well as it did. But I'm impressed. For less than $25, I don't know why more people don't have this.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. GoodRx can save you a lot of money. So it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less.
Judge, would you allow us just a few minutes to call the officer just to see? We don't have an OR. We're just going off of the
Sure,
terms.
let's do this. I'm gonna have them, because I want to make sure if we find probable cause that it's really there. All right, so just hang tight for me. We're gonna have to do a little deeper dive. If you just mind taking a seat for me momentarily, okay? Okay.
A few moments later.
Okay, come on up, Mr. Shaw. All right, so we're gonna do Shaw now since he's, yeah. All right. Okay, so Mr. Shaw, we're back on you. So just because we do so much, I tend to forget everything, you know. You're charged with killing a police officer. You're facing a 6 months in jail and a $2,000 fine. We left off because we were doing probable cause, and I had an issue because it seemed like the cause was kind of conclusory at the time. And do you have anything new?
No, Judge, and I agree with the court.
So, okay, I'm gonna find no probable cause.
Dismissing the case.
Find no probable cause. Be careful when you're out there. It's hard enough as it is. Don't give anyone else the power to even bring more, trouble on your life, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Good luck.
The prosecution had no additional evidence to justify the charge. Seeing this, the judge ruled there was no probable cause and dismissed the case. The judge warned Shaw to stay careful on the roads, but more importantly, he refused to let an officer's vague and conclusory claims dictate the fate of an innocent man. If the judge had not intervened, Shaw could have faced unjust prosecution based on an officer's assumptions rather than clear legal violations.
The officer initially said he responded to a crash call for service which occurred on US 50, but then later said the accident occurred on 59. So let me see if we I'll check the...
A man was charged with driving while intoxicated after an officer claimed he caused a crash. Under Texas Transportation Code, Section 550.021, a driver involved in an accident resulting in injury or damage must stop and provide information. However, the officer's report initially stated the accident occurred on US 50, but later changed it to US 59, raising serious credibility issues. The judge quickly caught this inconsistency, questioning whether the arrest was even valid. Since US 50 is not in Harris County, the officer's shifting statements suggested possible misconduct. This error cast doubt on the entire case, putting the officer's integrity in a question.
Mr. Lozano, come on up.
Rear-end accident on 59. Gonna take it, man. He doesn't get prior.
Any prior DWIs?
I don't believe he's got any priors of any kind. No.
Good morning, Mr. Lozano. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On February 7, 2025, at approximately 10:08 p.m., the officer was dispatched to a major crash on the 200 block of South US 50 freeway in Harris County, Texas. The officer met with other officers at the nearby gas station where they had moved the scene. The real witness stated she was rear-ended by the defendant and was able to put the defendant behind the wheel of the vehicle. The officer observed front-end damage to the defendant's vehicle, and the officer made contact with the defendant, the driver, and occupant of the vehicle. The officer observed slurred speech, staggering, and disorientation and confusion. The standard fields of writings were conducted, HGN 4 out of 6, walk and turn 4 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. The defendant stated he did not drink any alcohol that day, and the defendant was read the DIC and refused to provide a breath specimen. A blood search warrant was signed and executed.
Williams? The judge sounds like there's no probable cause because US 50 is not in Harris County, Texas. That's what the road they said it happened on.
Where is it?
It said US 50. That's not in Harris County.
And the DIMS does say 200 block of South US.
Are you serious? Do I need to look it up? I don't know.
Your Honor, the DIMS further says, during the scene of the accident, which occurred on 200 block of South US 59 freeway, Harris County, Texas, but counsel is correct that before they said he responded to a major crash call for service on the 200 block of South US 50 freeway. So they put 50, but then later in the DIMS, they just put 59. So they're just two addresses, so I don't know why that's there. But they did say the accident occurred on US 59.
Well, that would be a different story.
Do you have any other evidence that is pointing to that it's at 59 or is it 50?
So, Your Honor, the only thing we have is that statement from the officer which states that the accident occurred on 200 block of US 59 in Houston, Texas 77004.
Is that what really happened or was it on 50?
So that's what I can explain is the officer put...
I'm not working on hunches here, man.
And I understand, Your Honor. The officer initially said he responded to a crash call for service which occurred on US 50, but then later said the accident occurred on 59. So let me see if we...
Definitively
I'll check the OR and see if they clarify in the complete OR.
All right, so you guys keep asking about this new credit trick that erases negative marks and shoots your scores into this.
And in the OR as well, the officer says, which occurred on the 200 block of US 50, Houston, Texas 77004.
So is 50 It's not in Harris County?
He switches between 50 and 59 in the offense report, Chief.
I know probable cause.
Yes, Judge, and we understand.
All right, Joe.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Lozano, be careful out there. You know what I mean? Really. Just listen to, he's great.
The officer claimed the driver showed signs of intoxication, listing slow speech and disorientation as evidence. Under Texas Penal Code Section 49.04, a person commits DWI if they operated the vehicle while intoxicated in a public place. The officer also conducted field sobriety tests, alleging the driver failed multiple tasks, but the driver denied drinking that day. The officer then sought a blood warrant after the driver refused a breath test, but the contradictory accident location weakened probable cause. The judge, seeing the flawed report, focused on whether the case had legal grounds to proceed. Without reliable evidence, the case appeared built on questionable claims rather than lawful procedure.
Listen to, he's great. He'll help you out whenever you need, you know? All right, man. Good luck.
Excuse, Judge. All right, I'll meet you in the hallway. Okay.
The judge dismissed the case, and in this next case, a man was pulled over for speeding, and officers claimed they saw him trying to hide something near the center console. Based on this, they ordered him and his passenger out of the vehicle. As the passenger stepped out, the officer then claimed to have seen a plastic bag with a green leafy substance that smelled like marijuana. However, there was no clear indication in the report that the bag was directly tied to the driver. Under Florida statutes Section 893.13, mere proximity to a controlled substance is not enough to establish possession. There must be evidence that the accused knew of its presence and had control over it. The defense attorney pointed out that the passenger was the one who ran away, which made it more likely that the marijuana belonged to him rather than the driver. The report failed to specify where exactly the drugs were found or whether they were in the driver's immediate control.
What's going on?
Judge, I'm here on docket for Mr. Nathan Rhea, Judge. I'm seeing if you'll revisit probable cause in this case.
You said Rhea?
Yes, sir. RHEA, Judge.
Okay.